मंडलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Which Anuvak we are reading? Third. After this pranamaya kosh is told, then tasmadva etasmad pranamayad anyantara atma manomayah tenaisha purnaha savaesha purushavida eva tasya purushavidadam anvayam purushavidaha. Now when this manomaya kosh was described, tasya jajuhu eva shiraha rudakshina pakshaha samottara pakshaha adesha atma, here we have taken quite deep discussion that the mantras should not be mistaken for the smruti or remembrance of some earlier events, because in smruti it is an object, and if it is an object of knowledge, then it is drishya padartha, then it is subject to destruction. But the mantras are eternal and therefore they are not the objects of knowledge. Tasmat manovrutti upadhi parichinnam मनोवृत्ति निष्ठम आत्म चैतन्यम अनादि निधनम यजु शब्दवाच्यम आत्मविज्ञानम मंत्रा इति. Therefore, what is mantra? Mantra is the pure self expressing through the mind in the form of sound with meaning is called as mantra, and therefore yajuhu eva shiraha. That is why the self expresses as sound is mantra. We have seen in earlier texts the unmanifest state of the self is at the level of paravani. Then the manifestation without differentiation is called as pashyanti vani. Then from the pashyanti there is a differentiation, but both of them are at the level of thoughts alone. Then it is called as madhyama vani. And when madhyama vani further grossifies, where nama rupa becomes differentiated, then it is called as vaikhari vani. And therefore all the mantras are existing in the mind, meaning every mantra of the Shastras is the manifestation of this eternal reality, and therefore these mantras should not be compared with any average ordinary thought where we remember and forget them. Evam cha nityatvam upapattihi vedanam. By this method of understanding alone, evam cha vedanam nityatvam upapatti, then only we can conclude finally that the Vedas are nitya. That means they are not created as a result of a thought, but the thoughts are the manifestation of this eternal knowledge. What will be the difference between the Visheshana and Lakshana? We have seen. The same will be the difference between the Smriti and the mantra. Just try to catch this point. When we say coffee is sweet, and when we say sugar is sweet, or when we say that the rice is hot and the fire is hot, there is a difference in the statements. In one case, the hot tea or hot coffee, this hotness is an adjective. But when we say the fire is hot, the hotness is not an adjective of the fire, but it is the dharma. In the same manner, here also, when we say smriti, smriti of a particular object or a particular event, and this smriti is also in the form of the thought, and mantra is also in the form of the thought. But the difference between these two, smriti and the mantra, is smriti is created in time and it is likely to be destroyed, and it is dependent on the vritti. But the mantras are not that way. It is the Supreme Self expressing through the mind as the mantra. And therefore mantras are, or the Vedas are called as nitya. So evam cha nityatva upapattihi vedanam. By this method alone we can determine that the Vedas are eternal. Anyatha vishayatve rupadivat anityatvam cha syat na etad uptam. Na etad, this is not acceptable. What? Anyatha, if we do not accept this, that the mantras are like any other thought of any memory, if we accept that, and then vishayatve, and we consider that these mantras are the object of knowledge, rupadivat, just like any thought which is illuminating a color and the form. So that thought and the mantra thought, there is a difference. So rupadivat anityatvam syat. So the thought regarding the objective perception is anitya, dependent on the object of perception. But these mantras are unlike. And therefore it is said in other Upanishad, Sarve Veda yatraikam bhavanti sa manasina atma iti cha shruti nityatmana ekatvam bruvati ruk adinam nityatve samanjasa syat. So the Shruti Mata tells, Sarve Veda yatra ekam bhavanti, where all the Vedas mantras become one, where sa manasina atma, and that is called as the mind. Therefore in deep sleep, where all the thoughts are unmanifest, there Sarve Veda, all the mantras become one. Iti cha. And therefore Shruti Nitya Atmana Ekatvam Bruvati. And this Eka Atma is Nitya, and all the Vedas, the mantras, they go back to them. And therefore Bruvati Ruk Adinam Nityatve, and Rigveda etc. being Nityatva, Samanjasa Syat, then only we can accept. There is no contradiction. Rucho Akshare Parame Vyomni Asmin Deva Adhi Vishve Nisheduhu. So also in Shvetashvatar Upanishad, the similar thing is said, that Rucho Akshare Parame Vyomni, Ruchaha. So all the mantras. Rucha here means mantras. So rucha akshare parame vyomni. So in all the param vyom, the supreme akshara tattva, asmin deva adhi vishve nishedu. They come back and stay with identification. And in this manner, ultimately it is proved that when it is said, Yajureva Shiraha, so this Yajush mantras should not be mistaken as any other average thought. This is the main emphasis. Adesha Atra Brahmanam. So we have seen this particular mantra. Tasya Yajureva Shiraha Rug Dakshina Pakshaha Samottara Pakshaha Adesha Atma. So for this bird which has got the head of Yajur, then the Dakshina Pakshaha, the right wing is Rigveda, Sama Uttara Pakshaha, the left is the Samaveda, and Atma, the main body is Adesha Atma. So Adeshaha Atra Brahmanam Ati Deshtavya Visheshanad Ati Dishati iti Visheshena Ati Dishati iti. Why Adesha Brahmanam? Because the Brahman bhag of the mantras or the Vedas is dealing with the do's and don'ts, Adesha, Nishedha, etc. Vidhi Nishedha, Parat. Therefore, here it is said Adesha Atma. So, of the this bird, Manomaya bird, Rigved is the head, then the Yajurved is the head, not Rigved. Rigved is the Dakshina Paksha, Samaved is the Uttara Paksha, and the Brahmana bhag of these Vedas, which are responsible for giving the Vidhi Nishedha, they are the Atma. Atharvangi Rasacha Drishta Mantra Brahmanam. And this Atharva Rishi, by him, Atharvangi Rasa, Tritiya Vibhakti, Atharvangi Rasacha Drishta Mantra. So all the mantras in the Brahmana Bhag, they are seen by this Atharva Rishi, and therefore they are Shantika, Paustikadi, Pratishtita, Hetu Karma Pradhanatvat, Pucham Pratishtha. And these mantras of the Brahmana Bhag, they are meant for Shanti Paustika. That means for getting the peace and the prosperity. This Karma Pradhanata, the importance of karma is there. And therefore, Tadapesha Shloko Bhavati Manomayatmaka Prakashaha Purvavat. And the remaining things are same. So, in this manner, Atharangirasa Pucham Pradishtha. So, all these are description with reference to the Manomaya Kosh. Now, when it is said, Tadapesha Shloko Bhavati, now what is that shloka which determines the existence of Manomaya Kosh? This is said in the Chaturtha Anuvak. So before we go to Chaturtha Anuvak, in this Tritiya Anuvak, this is one most important point which Bhagavan Shankaracharya has brought, that Manomaya Kosh is different from the various kinds of desires or thoughts which persecute us. Now, desires and the worldly thoughts also are in the mind. But it is not Manomaya Kosh. It is something like a cloth, and the cloth converted into a shirt. So the shirt is also a cloth, but now it is limited for the purpose. But if it is a cloth, it can be used for any purpose. In the same manner, Mana, the mind, Manomaya Kosh, is like a cloth, the material. And all the desires for the worldly things, etc., which gives specificity to the mind. So what is the sadhana? The sadhana is first convert this shirt into a cloth. And therefore, we must function in this world only yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. So purification of the mind is emphasized so much only because of this. So as long as we are preoccupied with the desires, we are no more looking at the mind. Therefore, when we are told that observe the mind, and we very sincerely observe the thoughts, and then after observing the thoughts, we get carried away by the thought. And when we fail to observe the thought from a distance, we get disgusted. And therefore, when they said observe the mind, means first of all, we must be able to free the mind from the contents of the objective perception. Without that is done, the mind will not be seen. Many seekers throughout their life, they struggle keeping this basic mistake intact, that they are seeing the mind. In fact, they are not. What they are doing is, they are only observing the thoughts. And we say that no, I am observing the thought parade, and I continue to be a rangaroot throughout life. Therefore, what is required? That unless we drop the contents of the thought, we will not be able to observe the mind. That is why it is said, Laya vikshepayo sandhau manas tattva niramisham. So between the two thoughts, sandhau, tatra, there, the mind is niramisham, the mind is vegetarian. What is the meaning of mind being vegetarian? There is no otherness or the sense of otherness and objectification in that mind. And because there is no sense of otherness or objectification, that is why many people are afraid to stay thought-free. And whenever by God's grace, if that thought-free state comes, because of our habit, then next question comes in the mind, now what will I do? So all doing must end there. And therefore, this Manomaya Kosh has to be very clearly understood, that when we are talking about Manomaya Kosh, we are not talking about the mind carrying the load of thoughts. And when we are buried under the load of thoughts, there is a possibility of understanding what is the meaning of Manomaya Kosh and Vijnanamaya Kosh and Anandamaya Kosh. Now, if this is understood, then the question comes, how do we look at the Manomaya Kosh and not get influenced by the various thoughts and therefore chanting of the mantras? So when we chant the Upanishadic mantras or Vedic mantras, that time our mind is mind without the worldly thoughts. See how important it is. There is no thought of otherness. So when we say Om Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva Atyatishthad Dashangulam. Now in this mantra chanting, it was the mind pure, because this Paramatma, Shuddha Atma Chaitanya expressing in the Vaikhari Vani. So there were mantra thoughts, but these mantra thoughts were not creating a sense of duality, a sense of otherness, and therefore these mantra thoughts are the expression of the Shuddha Chaitanya. This is how many people, when they come once in a while by mistake. The other day somebody came and was listening to our Bhagavad chanting. So after that, when we went to the room, Swamiji, although I did not understand anything, but it was so nice. That means because I had not understood, it was good. Now what was the goodness in that? Because when these mantras are chanted, the mind is freed from the thoughts, the contents, the objectification. And that mind where there is absence of objectification, the supreme subject is revealed without becoming a pseudo-subject. And therefore the importance of mantra chanting. That is why before we sit for meditation, it is essential that we chant the original mantra, Om, and then Gananam, and thereafter some kinds of Upanishadic mantra. By that we make our mind free from the worldly objectification, and then only we can go further. This is the importance of this Manomaya Kosh. So kindly don't mistake Manomaya Kosh means the mind with thoughts about the world. It is only a specific thought pattern which binds us. So mind without the worldly attachment is an instrument for liberation, and the mind polluted by the worldly attachments, raga, dvesha, is the instrument of bondage. Now, after having completed this Tritiya Anuvak, let us enter in the Chaturtha Anuvak. Please read. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha anandam brahmano vidvan na videti kadachaneti tasyaisha eva sharira atma yapurvasya tasmadvahe tasman manomayan अन्योन्तरा आत्मा विज्ञानमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव यस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयम् पुरुषविदः तस्य श्रद्धैव शिरः ऋतम् दक्षिणपक्षः सत्यमुत्तरपक्षः योग आत्मा महपुरुषं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति. This mantra yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha comes afterwards also. In both the places the same mantra. So they did not find any other quotation. Same quotation is given in two places. No. The purpose is different. What was said in the Tadapesha Shloko Bhavati, Manomayatma Prakashakaha. There is a Manomaya Kosh to indicate there is a verse or a shlok. So this particular shlok in this Chaturtha Anuva is not to be explained in detail. This is only an authority to tell. See, it is said, Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha. Therefore, Manomaya Kosh is. Only that much is the purpose of quoting this mantra in this context. This is what we can learn from Bhagwan's quotations in all the Upanishads and the commentaries, where he quotes the mantra in a particular context to make a particular point. We don't have to go the total details of every mantra. So here is the best example. Therefore, yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha ityadi. Ityadi means there is nothing that we have to talk about it. Why? This is only to tell that other than the pranamaya kosh, there is manomaya kosh, and there is an authority indicating this. Therefore, this mantra is not analyzed or explained by Bhagwan Shankaracharya. So this is how, when we are having proper samskar of Vedanta study, then this becomes very easy. Otherwise, you also must have come across. Suppose we give some example. Now, examples are given only to make a point. For example, we quote the lives of some great masters and make a particular point. Now, after everything is over, somebody comes and tells, स्वामी जी, फिर वो तुलसीदास जी का क्या हुआ था? Now we have dropped Tulsidaji and we have reached Ram Bhagavan, and this guy is holding on to the wife of Tulsidaji. What happened to that then? Thereafter what happened? So this is how we are unable to understand the purpose achieved through the quotations. So here also, this is what very clearly indicated. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasah ityadi. So if you take the last mantra and then this mantra, tadapesha shloko bhavati. So in that connection there is a verse. What is that verse? Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasah, manasa underline. And therefore this particular mantra very clearly indicates that there is a manomaya kosh other than the pranamaya kosh. So, tasya purvasya pranamayasya esha eva atma shariraha sharire pranamaye bhavaha shariraha kaha esha manomayaha. Now the same kind of thought is repeated. So, of that pranamaya kosh, tasya purvasya pranamayasya esha eva sharira atma. Sharira means the one who is residing in the body, in the sharira, is called a sharira. So, in the house of pranamaya, the manomaya atma is living. Therefore, it is called as sharira atma, pranamaya bhavaha, shariraha. Kaha? Yesha manomayaha. Just now what we have seen, this is only we are quoting. So, esha manomayaha. Then, tasmad va, tasmad ityadi purvavata. We have already explained this. We are not going to waste your valuable time. So, tasmad va, tasmad. So that pranam, that manomay which we have established in the last anuvak, and etasmad which was supported by quotation in this anuvak, from that manomaya kosha, anyantara atma vijnanamayaha. There is another antara atma. There is another atma which is antara, nearer, inside. What is that? Vijnanamayaha. Manomayasya abhyantaraha vijnanamayaha iti. Therefore, manomaya kosh is external and the vijnanamaya kosh is internal. Now see what Shruti Mata is doing in this particular Panchakosh presentation. Actually it is not so, and yet it is said so. What is the reason? The reason is our preoccupation with the gross body. When we are told that, or this is our experience, that I am the Annamaya Kosh, and then what are the qualities of Pranamaya Kosh? Hunger and thirst. So where do you feel hunger and thirst? Do you feel hunger and thirst outside your body? Wherever there is food, there is hunger and thirst. No. We feel hunger and thirst inside the body, and therefore we develop a concept that Annamaya Kosh is outer, Pranamaya Kosh is inner, and then naturally in the same sequence Pranamaya Kosh is outer and Manomaya Kosh is inner. Because where do you feel misery? When somebody insults you, that you stupid, why do you do like this thing? Immediately the face is hanging. What happened? I am hurt. Where? There on the tree? I am not the tree. Where? I am hurt in the mind. So immediately in the mind we bring our finger to the heart. So inside the pranamaya is the manomaya. Now inside the manomaya is the vijnanamaya. Now when this is said, and if we understand it correctly, what is meant, that Annamaya Kosh is supported by Pranamaya Kosh, and this Pranamaya Kosh is dependent on the total Vayu. So the total Vayu is the Samashti Pranamaya Kosh, and in that Samashti Pranamaya Kosh there is one Vyashti Pranamaya Kosh. And how it is, when the Vyashti comes in contact with the Samashti, the air is converted into Pranamaya Kosh. So it is the other way around, that Annamaya Kosh are the contents. Pranamaya Kosh is the container. Then the Pranamaya Kosh is the content and Manomaya Kosh is the container. Because the mind can go far away beyond the Prana Shakti. And therefore mind is the container and the Manomaya Kosh is the Pranamaya Kosh is the content. Then we come to Vijnanamaya Kosh. Vijnanamaya Kosh goes beyond the limits, frontiers of the knowledge gathered by the mind. Therefore an intelligent man can investigate. Only a sentimental cannot investigate because he functions only in the known field. So the intellect is more pervasive. So intellect is the container and the mind is the content. This is the reality. But because we are so much preoccupied with our gross body and then inside, so Shruti Mata thought, never mind, at least yena kena prakarena, we are able to drop this identification with the Panchakoshas and then the truth is revealed. Like, when we see that in a mud pot, water is kept. So what is our understanding? Our understanding is that mud pot is the support and the water is supported. And because of this understanding, when we look at the samashti level, so earth is the container, the support, and all the oceans are supported on this earth. And earth is only 1/3 and 9/3 are the waters. So how can the earth is 1/10 and the waters are 9/10? So how can the 1/10 earth support the 9/10 water? Not possible. Then what is the reality? The reality is earth is supported by water, waters are supported by fire, fire is supported by air, air is supported by space. So it is not from the earth the things are supported, but from outside everything is supported. But it takes tremendous inner strength to recognize this fact. Like all the various bodies which are hanging in the space, they are supported from without, not from within this way. In the same manner, this Brahman is the total support, where there is no difference of in and out. And then in that Brahman, where there is no difference of in and out, when we start our journey from the gross body, we consider ourselves to be inside the gross body. Therefore, Brahman has to be discovered inside. That is why in that Tripura Rahasya, when the Guru wife tells the disciple husband, when he is sitting like this, she is laughing. What is there to laugh? No, I am surprised that what you are seeing after closing the eyes, where does it go when you open the eyes? I am worried about that. So that Brahman or that Paramatma, in a corner of whom the millions and trillions of universes are hanging, that Paramatma runs away the moment you open the eyes. And when you close your eyes, then only the Brahman is seen. एष एव आत्मा शारीरा शारीरे शरीरे प्राणमये भवः शारीरा कहा य एष मनोमया. So this is the meaning of Vijnanamaya is Manomayasya Abhyantaraha Vijnanamaya. So he is the Manomaya Kosh is controlled by the Vijnanamaya. Now Manomaya Vedatma Uktaha. We have seen what was the Manomaya Kosh. यजुः अस्य शिरः ऋग्दक्षिण पक्षः सामोत्तर पक्षः आदेश आत्मा अथर्वांगिरस ब्रह्म पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा. So after having given this, that Rigved is the head, then the Yajurveda is the head, Rigved is the Dakshina Paksha, Samauttara Paksha, Adesha Atma, and Atharvangiras, the Rishi, he is the Pucha, because the Rishis only see the mantras. So unless the rishi come in the Manomaya Kosh or express as Manomaya Kosh, the mantras are not revealed. Up to here we have seen. Now, this is supported by Vijnanamaya. Now what is this Vijnanamaya? Therefore, Manomayo Vedatma Uktaha. Vedartha Vishaya Buddhi Nishchayatmika Vijnanam Tacha Adhyavasaya Lakshanam Antakaranasya Dharmaha. So, Manomaya Kosh has seen the mantras. Thereafter, who will determine Nishchayatmika and the Nishchay to the perception of the mantra is given by the Buddhi or the Vijnanamaya Kosh. And therefore, Vedartha Vishaya, what is indicated by the mantras, the Vishaya, the objects or whatever it is, Vedartha Vishaya, Buddhi Nishchayatmika. They are decided, determined by the Nishchayatmika Buddhi. And what is this Vijnanam or Nishchayatmika Buddhi? Tacha Adhyavasaya Lakshanam. Adhyavasaya Lakshana means determinative knowledge. So that knowledge which is a conclusive, that knowledge which is confirmed, that knowledge where a decision is taken, that knowledge where there is no doubt. So it is not only a knowledge, but the knowledge with conviction and confirmation. That is called as Vijnanam. So, Vijnanam Tacha Antakaranasya Dharmaha. And this is the dharma essence of this Antakaran. Tanmayo Nishchaya Vijnanaihi Pramana Swarupaihi Nirvartita Atma Vijnanamayaha. Therefore, whatever knowledge is revealed in the Manomaya Kosh is confirmed and converted into determination. Determination is conviction. So whatever mantras are revealed in the Manomaya Kosh, they are finally accepted as the final word only in the Vijnanamaya Kosh. And therefore it is Pramana Swarupaihi Nirvartitaha. So what is revealed in the mind, various mantras, they are accepted as the authority in the Vijnanamaya Kosh. So Vijnanamaya Kosh, unless supports, these mantras in the mind are not accepted. And therefore, Vijnanamaya Kosh is the approving authority and therefore superior than and inner than the Manomaya Kosh. Therefore, Vijnana Nishchayahi or Nishchaya Vijnanaihi Pramana Swarupaihi Nirvartitaha Atma Vijnanamaya. So whatever knowledge is gained in this Manomaya Kosh in the form of the various mantras, this knowledge has to be confirmed by the Vijnanamaya. Pramana Vijnana Purvako hi yajnadi stayate. Because unless there is Pramana, authority, accepted by the Vijnanamaya Kosh, the Kartrutva Abhimani, the individual, then only yajnadi, the various kind of yajna karma is done. Because Vijnanamaya Kosh is the Kartrutva Abhiman. So unless the Kartrutva Abhiman is invoked and all the mantras are accepted, then only karma is possible. Yajnadi hetutvam cha vakshati shlokena. It will be said in the subsequent mantras that this Vijnanamaya Kosh is the Yajnadi hetutvam, the cause of karma. Yajna here refers to karma. So various karmas are done by the Vijnanamaya Kosh. So, Annamaya Kosh is the ayatanam, the abode to stay. Pranamaya Kosh is the energy for conducting the activities. So, the third is the knowledge, Manomaya Kosh, where all the knowledge regarding everything in the form of the Upanishadic Vedic mantras is contained. Now, who is the owner of this knowledge? Who will practice this knowledge into karma? Is the Vijnanamaya Kosh. And therefore, Yajnadi hetutvam cha vakshati shlokena. Vakshati, it will be told by a shloka, and how this Vijnanamaya Kosh is the hetu, the cause of karma. Nishchaya Vijnanavataha hi kartaveshu artheshu purvam shraddha utpadyate. Now, whenever something is determined, finally concluded, accepted, then only there is a Shraddha in the heart. See, we go to a teacher and learn from him. On what basis we learn? First of all, we have Nishchaya, conviction, that here is a teacher who knows and who will help me. This Nishchaya is in our mind. How this Nishchaya, how this determination, how this conviction expresses? As Shraddha. So Shraddha is the expression of the determinative knowledge which is the Atma of the Vijnanamaya Kosh. So Vijnanamaya Kosh is that state of Antakaran where the knowledge revealed in the Manomaya Kosh gathers the status of conviction and confirmation without knowing. And therefore, to convert that knowledge born out of conviction but without knowing, what is required is Shraddha. That is why in the 12th chapter, Bhagavan, toward the end he says, those who yetu dharmyamrutamidam yathoktam paryupasate shraddadhana mat parama bhaktate me ativa priyaha. All other devotees are only priya. And those who are practicing this with Shraddha. Practicing with Shraddha means what? They do not know. See, when I know this is like this and then accept, what is the greatness in that? When I do not know and yet on the strength of Shraddha I accept, that is real greatness. And therefore here Vijnanamaya Kosh is conviction without experience. And this Vijnanamaya Kosh, conviction without experience, expresses first as Shraddha. That is why now we will understand one statement. Therefore, an intelligent man has Shraddha. A fool does not have. Do you have Shraddha? Of course. Who will not accept oneself as intelligent? Now, on the basis of this statement, when some people say, I don't have faith, naturally. Why? You are not intelligent. Intelligent people alone have faith. No, I don't believe in anything. I want to see everything. Unless I see with my eyes, I don't accept. Now this kind of lack of faith is lack of intellectual faculty. He is living only at the level of the sense organs or the ticklings, that's it. Therefore, here is very important thing, Nishchaya Vijnanavataha. The one who has Nishchaya, who has firm conviction, and Vijnanavataha, Vijnanavan, intelligent, associated with the Vijnanamaya Kosh. Kartavyeshu artheshu, whatever is to be done, Kartavyeshu artheshu, Purvam, before that, Shraddha utpadyate. Meaning, an intelligent man begins all his understanding with Shraddha. This is the meaning. Kartavyeshu artheshu purvam. Before doing anything as an undertaking, what is first required? Shraddha. Without Shraddha, we cannot take one step. Jai Jai Rama Krishna. Our Swami Akhandananda used to tell a very beautiful, simple example about Shraddha. He used to say, without Shraddha, we don't go to the barber and hand over our jugular vein. Isn't it? So when we go to the barber and hand over our neck, and he has got the sharpest instrument in the world, Now what is that which keeps our neck in his hand? Only Shraddha. And what is that Shraddha? He will not slit it. That is all. We do not know what he is going to do. Therefore, without Shraddha, we cannot take one step ahead in life. And all of us know, so many places, so many accidents have taken place, people die. Like the aeroplanes. How many aeroplanes have crashed? And yet, we go by them. How many trains have collided? Yet we go by trains. How many car and bus accidents? Yet we go. Now what is that which keeps us going in life? Is Shraddha. Therefore, it is said, Kartavyeshu artheshu purvam Shraddha utpadyate. And sa sarva kartavyanam prathamyat shira iva shiraha. Therefore, sa Shraddha, that Shraddha, which is sarva kartavyanam prathamyat. Now Vijnanamaya Kosh is Kartrutva-bhiman. Now this Kartrutva-bhimani Vyaktitva. What is the head of this Kartrutva-bhimani Vyaktitva? Like we have seen Manomaya Kosh, the head is Yajur Mantra. Then the Dakshina Paksha is the Rug Mantra. Then the Vama Paksha is the Sama Mantra. In the same manner, what is the head of this Vijnanamaya Kosha? Vijnanamaya Kosha's head is Shraddha eva Shiraha. Without Shraddha, without head, not identified. So, Sa Sarva Kartavyanam Prathamyat. So, before we take up any Kartavya in our hand, Shraddha is essential. Therefore, Bhagavan will tell us in Bhagavad Gita, Yo ya Shraddha sa eva saha. Here also it will be said, Asanneva sa bhavati, asad brahmeti veda ched. So we have to begin that there is Brahman and that Brahman is I. But I don't know, never mind. Why accept? Because the scriptures tell, because the Guru tells. So although we do not know, although we do not have experience, yet we accept. Acceptance under the strength of ignorance is possible when supported by Shraddha. Acceptance after knowing is not a great Sarva Kartavyanam Prathamyat Shira Iva Shiraha. Like the head is the most important part of the body, so also Shraddha is the most important part of this Vijnanamaya Kosh, therefore Shira Iva. Now Ruta Satya Yatha Vyakhyate Eva. Bhagwan Shankaracharya, Rutam Dakshina Pakshaha, Satyam Uttara Pakshaha. Now we are already told, now you find out. Isn't it? So Rutam is what is said in the scriptures, that is taken as the final authority for knowledge. Rutam Vadishyami. Vadishyami, I will speak. Don't speak anything. Only that which is authenticated and supported and reported and contained and accepted by the scriptures. So Rutam is Shastra Sammat Satya Vastu Rutam. So Rutam Dakshina Pakshaha. So Shraddha eva Shiraha. First, Rutam Dakshina Pakshaha. So whatever is said in the scriptures, that is the final authority. This is accepted with Shraddha. This is the Dakshina Pakshaha, the right wing. What is the left wing? Satyam, Uttara Pakshaha. And then once it is accepted, the right wing, that whatever are the scriptural statements, they are perfect, right? Do you know them? No, I don't know. Then how do you accept? Because of the head. Because I am intelligent. What is the intelligence? Shraddha. So through Shraddha, we accept the scriptural statement, and then Satyam Uttara Pakshaha. Then we practice them in our life. Now see the picture of this bird, Tittiri, the domestic house bird, fly, sparrow. So head is Shraddha, the scriptural authority is the right wing, practice of that scriptural knowledge with Shraddha in our life is the left wing. Now this bird is ready to take off to the reality. Now, if some bird does not have head, meaning does not have Shraddha, and therefore where will he head? Because there is no head. We can't use the word for him. He was heading towards the reality. We'll have to say he was tailing towards the reality. So Shraddha is the head. Now we may have Shraddha. This is also asked by Arjun, that he who is Shraddha Yukta, but he is not practicing. In Bhagavad Gita he will ask that a person Shraddhayopetaha, he is full of Shraddha, but he is not practicing anything in his life. What will happen to him? So there Bhagavan says there are three kinds of Shraddha: Tamasic, Rajasic and Sattvic. And then it is Urdhvam Gacchanti, Sattvastaha. So those who are practicing this Sattvic Shraddha, they attain the reality, etc. So here Shraddha is the foundation. Acceptance of the scriptural authority is the right wing. And not only accepting, practice also. Now, second alternative. We have tremendous Shraddha. Why? Because nobody can exist without Shraddha. Those who say that I don't have faith, they are totally 100% wrong. How do you know you have no faith? On what authority? So we only imagine that we are Shraddha Rahita. We have Shraddha, faith in our intellect. So where there is a faith, that's a different issue. Faith is there. Then such people have got faith on Mark Twain. Isn't it? Or they have got faith on this, some of these various philosophers, or some particular type of writer. And whatever that writer is, that we agree. Like the small children. Their highest faith is in their miss. And if the child's mother tells, look here, I'll teach you about Shiraha, Dakshina Paksha, Uttara Paksha, come, I'll teach you. So the child has got all the doubts about the mother. How do you know what is the head, and have you gone to my miss? No, I missed it. You will never know. But beta, I am doctor, so what? Do you know body has a head? So his Shraddha in his teacher is supreme. In the same manner, nobody in this world exists without Shraddha. Now the question comes, Shraddha on what? Dakshina Pakshaha. What is the Dakshina Paksha? Rutam, or one's own whims and fancy. We have Shraddha either in the scriptures or our own whims and fancy. That is how one day I was in somebody's house and that person was having some problem, always suspicious about everything. So I was talking to him. Even when he was taking food in the house, he used to have doubt that the people in the house, they are going to kill me. Therefore they are adding poison, therefore they told me eat that food. Sit there. Why they are telling me to sit there? Because of this. Then what do you do? I don't sit there. Then I just watch. And I see where my father is taking food. And in his thali, the food is there. He has tasted everything. Then I observe him. Still he is alive? Yes. Then I tell him, you get up from here, you eat that. And then I eat that food. So there is no risk. So he has Shraddha on his observation. Because he has not yet eaten the food. Whether it contains poison or not, he has not yet eaten, but only observing. Therefore, nobody in this world is without Shraddha. The question is whether we have, be very attentive, whether we have Shraddha on the authority of the scriptures or we have Shraddha on the limitations of our own equipments. That is important. When we say, I accept, unless I see, I don't accept. Now what can you see? Chashme ka number badal lo. With those eyes which are not able to give the perfect perception, on those perception we have Shraddha. And the scriptures which are expression of the supreme reality, on them we have got doubt. Therefore Shraddha all of us have, but it is misplaced. So instead of having Shraddha on the scriptural statements and authority, we have Shraddha on everything other than this. Therefore, Vijnanamaya Kosh, an individual, is a seeker and a decent human being. If his Shraddha is on the right wing, Rutam Dakshina Pakshaha. And once we have accepted scriptural authority as the final authority in our life, on the strength of Shraddha and faith, what will happen? The Uttara Pakshaha, we will practice that knowledge in our life. Then only it is possible. Then we will not ask a funny question. Has anybody seen the heavens? How do you know that after death somebody goes to heaven or hell? Now, going to hell and heaven, these falls in the purview of scriptures. Atindriya Vishaye Vedaha Pramanam. So that topic, that subject matter, which is beyond the scope of our Jnanendriyas, which cannot be touched directly by the mind, that is accepted as existing only by the Vijnanamaya Kosh on the strength of Shraddha. So when our scriptures tell us that we should do Shraddha, the word Shraddha and Shraddha, they are from the same root. Shraddha is done with Shraddha. Therefore, the definition of Shraddha is Sat Dhatte Iti Shraddha. That which is holding the reality is called a Shraddha. Therefore, when Shraddha is not on the scriptures, then what happens? We have Shraddha on our own imaginary functions, our own whims and fancy. And thereafter, we start living Satyam Uttara Pakshaha, we start translating our Shraddha area into life. Take an example. The social workers, etc., they have Shraddha that people will be happy when the children are not allowed to work. Child labor should be banned. Now children are already happy, they are enjoying their work. But somebody's head it has gone, that children should not be allowed to work. Then everybody should be given paper pencil and made into babu. On the contrary, if a child right from the childhood takes up the family vocation, whether carpentry or blacksmithy or anything, right from the childhood, slowly and steadily, he gathers that knowledge which will sustain him throughout his life. By being able to read one or two novels, we become useless, good for nothing. What is required is the ability to sustain life with dignity. And that can be done only when the child is exposed to these things slowly and steadily. You must have seen. This is a very peculiar thing what I am telling you, but it is the truth. Those who serve as instructor in carpentry in ITI, they are concerned about their pant, shirt and about the salary or the various kinds of perks that they can get. ask them, this is a wooden piece, make it into a round. So, immediately what they will do? They will press a bell and call an illiterate carpenter who is working in their workshop as a daily wage. He does a better job than professor of carpentry. Because never taken that instrument in the hand. Therefore, these vocational jobs are given to the children right from the childhood. But now, in my head, some funny thing has gone. All the children should now take paper and pencil in the hand and start writing. See, we give this scriptural knowledge free. How many come? There is no ban or anything for getting this now. How many come? Because although it is freely given, are we qualified to receive? But then what happens? This has gone to my head. That all the children of my country must know ding dong bell, pussy in the well. And when all the children together will chant ding dong bell, then Mera Bharat great. It will not be Mahan. Very English. And that is how is my imagination. Now if this is Rutam, if this is the accepted authority by me, then what will happen? Satyam. The same thing I will translate in life. Therefore, Shraddha is one thing. Second thing, Shraddha in what? Shraddha in our own whims and fancy, or Shraddha in the scriptural authority. Now those who have got Shraddha in the scriptural authority, they will never condemn the Varnashrama Vyavastha. Varnashrama Vyavastha, where Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, then Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, this is scientifically classified human type. And when it is allowed to progress in that manner, then only the total society will remain integrated. But a person who is not interested at all in anything, because he is not qualified, and he is not interested, no, but because he belongs to a particular community, a particular kind of person, he should be promoted. Therefore, Angutha Bahadur is made as the education minister of our country. So when an Angutha Bahadur is made education minister of our country, what he can teach? Beta, thumbs up. Because that is all. Therefore, what is very, very essential, Shraddha we all have. But the question is, where do we have Shraddha? So Shraddha must be only in the scriptural authority. Then we are talking about that Vijnanamaya Kosh. We are not talking about that Vijnanamaya Kosh which is lost in the perverted lifestyle. No. So, निश्चय विज्ञानवता ही कर्तव्येषु अर्थेषु पूर्वं श्रद्धा उत्पद्यते सा सर्व कर्तव्यानां प्राथम्यात् शिर इव शिरः ऋत सत्ये यथा व्याख्याते एव. So what is now the complete picture? Vijnanamaya Kosh is that kartrutvaabhimani vyaktitva, that individuality expressing through us, which is existing on the strength of Shraddha or faith. And Shraddha and faith is on the authority of the scriptures. Tasmat Shastram Pramanante Karya Karyo Vyavastitau. And thereafter, that scriptural authority having accepted as the final word, that is practiced in the life, then it is Satyam Uttara Pakshaha. This picture is called as the Vijnanamaya Kosh. Now, Ruta Satye Yatha Vakhyate Eva. Now, Yoga Atma. Next one portion of this Vijnanamaya Kosh is Yoga Atma. Now what is Yoga? Yogaha Yuktihi Samadhanam. Yukti doesn't mean knack. Yukti means Samadhanam. Samadhanam means Samyak Adhanam. Tranquility of mind or equipoise is called as yoga. Like in Bhagavad Gita also Bhagavan refers this thing, samatvam yoga uchyate. So here yoga is referred to samatvam. So yuktihi samadhanam, atma iva atma. Now, if atma means the main stay of Vijnanamaya Kosh, if it is equipoise, if it is samatva, what will happen? If there is samatva, then only actions will be unbiased. If there is samatva, then only the scriptural knowledge will be practiced, may anything come in life. And if there is samatva, then only the shraddha remains undisturbed. This is what is said here. Atmavato hi yuktasya samadhanavataha angani iva shraddhadini yathartha pratipatti kshamani bhavanti. Pratipatti kshama means the ability to inquire and understand without biasness. So when atmavataha hi yuktasya samadhanavataha, he who is undisturbed, he whose mind is in equipoise, he who is established in samatvam yoga uchyate, of such a person, atmavataha hi yuktasya samadhanavataha angani iva shraddhadini. For him, Shraddha, Rutam and Satyam, they are Angani, they are like limbs. Angani iva Shraddhadini, Yathartha Pratipatti Kshamani. Kshama means able. They only will be able to Yathartha, correctly estimate without biasness. The perfection in our life can come when our perceptions are not biased. Suppose somebody comes and tells us something, and if we are not quiet and unbiased, and we have heard something against that person because the other person was his enemy and he wanted to encash his friendship with us, they are called, in the political language, if they are small, they are called as spoons. And if they are big, they are called as karchis. That is what is called as inner circle, outer circle. Please understand this point. It is very, very essential. Never get carried away by what somebody has told about somebody. Their relationship is reflected in the complaint. Therefore, never allow anybody to complain against anybody, at least report to you. Keep such people away. You remember there was one student? He was good. How many times I told him, I said, you are here not to report about what every student is doing, who is going where. I said, I don't want you to do that. Let all the students die their own death. You don't destroy your life. But as a helpless victim, again and again he will come. Swamiji, that person has gone there. Swamiji, that person has done this thing. I said, why you are worried? You are not appointed. And he just could not. And that day when I asked him to get out, that day it was a height. He wrote a big letter, about 20-30 points about who has done what, this and that. So I called him. I said, thank you for your information. And then gave him money. I said, after lunch, you must disappear in no time. But Swamiji, I said, there is nothing like but and Swamiji. You are leaving in no time. I have given you sufficient opportunity. Therefore, do not encourage anybody coming and tail carrying. What is the meaning of tail carrying, you know? Mr. A, B and C. A is in a position. B wants his one work to be done through A. But the B knows that C is more competent than him, than the B. So what B will do? B will go to A, who is a competent person, and tell Swamiji that C was talking about you in this manner. He was talking very ill about you. And he was trying to split the mission. He was trying to destroy the mission. Now, what is this? This is called as tale carrying. Suppose the other way around. B goes and reports to A about C. That Swamiji, that C is a source of disturbance to me. Please help me. How do I come out of it? It is not tale carrying. Because there the help for the self is sought. It is not to poison somebody's mind. And this is very, very essential. Many people, even after having gone on a very high post, they have very shallow ears. Anybody comes and tells anything about anybody, they believe. And this is how the total institution is destroyed, the mutual trust is broken. Please see, all relationships are intact only on one foundation, and that is mutual trust. If that mutual trust is not there, thereafter there is no joy in staying together. Therefore, here this Rutam, which is the Dakshina Pakshaha, our Shraddha should be only on the scriptural authority and not what anybody talks or our own whims and fancy. Otherwise, we will be influenced by the information which is not from the authentic source. Why I am telling you these things in detail, when you will go in the field, then you will experience by yourself. That time you will see what I am telling is how true it is. Therefore, always be aware that what others do is not our business. But we should not become of that kind. So, आत्मवतः ही युक्तस्य समाधानवतः अंगानि इव श्रद्धादीनि यथार्थ प्रतिपत्ति क्षमानि भवन्ति. Or else our Shraddha, Rutam, Satyam is important. It has no meaning. Tasmat samadhanam yoga atma vijnanamayasya. Therefore, samadhanam samatva, samadhanam equipoise, that is the atma of vijnanamaya. Now, get the whole picture. An intelligent man is he who is equipoised, who has got full faith in the Lord and the scriptural authority, and he is expressing the wisdom of the scriptures through him, and no biasness of any kind will ever disturb his equipoise. Such a person is intelligent person. Now think. That is the beauty of our Bhagwan Shankara's commentary. How systematically he has brought out the whole thing. Otherwise, no, we are chanting this. Brahmavidapnoti param tadeshabhyukta satyam jnanamanantam brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam paramevyo vanda soshnute sarvan kamansa. Chai nahi mil rahi, sarvan kamansa. Therefore, these mantras, they carry such depth. Now, tasmat samadhanam yoga atma vijnanamayasya. Now we come to the puchham, pratishtha. Mahapuchham pratishtha. Here also something very great. Maha iti mahattattvam prathamajam. Maha means mahattattva. So intellect is the point where from individuality starts crystallizing as an important aspect of our life. That is Vijnanamaya. Now what is the source of this Vijnanamaya? Where from this Vijnanamaya has come? Source, Pratishtha, foundation. So, Maha iti Mahat Tattvam. Therefore, Mahat Tattva is the total intellect. And Vijnanamaya is the individual intellect. Be very attentive. What is that which makes the difference between the total intellect and the individual intellect? Individual intellect is influenced by the biasness because of placement of Shraddha in a wrong place. Then the individuality becomes stronger and creates disturbances and divisions. And what is Mahat Tattva? Mahat Tattva is that where the vision is not that of the individuality, but where the vision is of the totality. What will be the vision of the head of the institution and what will be the vision of the tail of the institution? A lot of difference. When the head is looking at the institution, he has got overall picture of everything. And when it is the tail of the institution, he is worried only about the eczema on the tail, nothing more, not able to go beyond that. Therefore, Mahat Tattva is the totality. And this is what is called as Mahapucham Pratishtha. Maha iti Mahat Tattvam Prathamajam. Maham Mahadhyaksham Prathamajam Veda iti Shrutyantarat. Pucham Pratishtha Karanatvat. How see? Pratishtha means Karan. See, in our Bhagavad Mahapurana also we have seen number of times, Paramatma's Shakti, when it is unmanifest, yet referred, then that Paramatma is called as Ishvara. There, Brahman and his Shakti is not separated, although referred, is called as Ishvara. Then by the free will of the Lord, this now Prakriti or the Maya starts becoming ready for expansion. That state of the Prakriti is called as Mahat. And what will that Mahat express? What is contained inside? And what is contained inside? These Vijnanamaya Jivas. And therefore, this Mahat Tattva, where the Paramatma is called as Hiranyagarbha or Brahmaji, that Mahat Tattva is meant here as Maha because Pucham Pratishtha Karanatvat. So all the beings are the expression of this Hiranyagarbha. Karanatvat. Karanam hi Karyanam Pratishtha, because it is natural. Karanam, the cause, is the Pratishtha of all the Karya, the effect. Karanam hi Karyanam Pratishtha. Yatha Vriksha Virudham Prithvi. Just like all the plant kingdom is dependent on the Prithvi, in the same manner, all the Jivas are caused or effects of this Mahat Tattva. The individuality is the manifestation of the summation of the totality. So, Sarva Buddhi Vijnananam cha Mahat Tattvam Karanam. So, Mahat Tattva is the total knowledge. Why total knowledge? Because that knowledge is not limited by the upadhi or the conditioning of the individuality. Please understand this point. See, the Supreme Self expressing through the limitations of one little buddhi, Vijnanamaya Kosh, little eyes, little ears, cannot have the total knowledge of everything. So actually this Vijnanamaya has become Vijnanamaya not on account of its essential nature, but on account of its functioning through the limitations. Essentially, Vijnanamaya is also Paramatma. But when the Supreme Self is functioning through the limitations of the individuality called as the Vijnanamaya, and therefore his knowledge is related to that individual existence. Now the question comes, where from this individual existence has come into being? From the totality. And now what is the position of the Hiranyagarbha or the Mahat or the totality? When I can understand that all the colors and forms seen by all the eyes in the past, present and the coming future, they are known by me. When I grow to that stature, then I have become one with the Mahat Tattva. What is our present position? Our present position is only what I am seeing through my eyes, that alone is the reality. Now, when I am looking at you, I am only seeing you in front of me. Does it mean that there is nothing on the back side of me? No, there are many things. How to prove that? Because you are seeing. Now you and me, this difference is on account of what? Consciousness? No. It is on account of the individual pairs of eyes. And therefore, these individual pairs of eyes are functional only because of the common consciousness. Here also, this is what I said, that Maha iti Mahattattvam Prathamajam Ucham Pratishtha Karanatvat Karanam hi Karyanam Pratishtha Yatha Vruksha Virudham Prithvi Sarva Buddhi Vijnananam Cha Mahattattvam Karanam. So all the knowledge contained in all the buddhi is the one which is already available in the Mahattattva. And therefore when some particular scientist discovers something, there is nothing new. Because discover, that means it was already there, but it was covered. So what this scientist has done, he went with his jhadu, removed the cover, and the truth is revealed. And where is the truth? It is already existing in the Mahat Tattva. Therefore, when we attentive, when we are samadhana yukta, when we are equipoised, when we are unbiased, that time we are directly in communion with the Supreme, called as the Mahat Tattva, the Hiranyagarbha. And this is how, when we do the yoga abhyas, bhakti or the jnana, meditation, whatever sadhana we do, what is ultimately achieved is that we dilute this Vijnanamaya Kosha's separate identity. How? By this technique. Shraddha eva shiraha, Rutam dakshina pakshaha, Satyam uttara pakshaha, Yoga samadhanam atma. When these three things is done, then we come to the substratum, the karanatvat, mahapucham pratishtha. Then we come there. So unless the individuality is dissolved, there cannot be the recognition of the totality. By maintaining the wave status, if we try to imagine that we can understand the ocean, it is an impossibility. So, tena tad vijnanamayasya atmanaha pratishtha, tena mahattatvena. So by this mahattattva, vijnanamayasya, the individual vijnanamaya pratishtha bhavati, tadappesha shloko bhavati purvavat. And this is how there is also a shloka about this vijnanamaya kosha also, tadappesha shloko bhavati purvavat, yad annamayadinam brahmanoktanam prakashakaha shlokaha evam vijnanamayasya api. Just like we have seen earlier, Brahmana was the Annamaya Kosh. To prove that, there was a shloka, authority. Then Pranamaya Brahmana Vakya, supported by another shloka. Manomaya Brahmana Vakya, supported by another. Similarly, Vijnanamaya also is the Brahmana Vakya, now it will be supported by the shloka. What is that? That is the Panchama Anuvak. We will take it in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnāt Purnamudacchate Purnasya Purnamadaya पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।